we'll tell you about a safe place to go for target practice in Phoenix, plus much more next on The Issues. Watch us. Welcome to On the Issues. I'm Paula Moore. District 1 has a special place where firing a gun is legal and safe. Marcos Najera has more in this report.
Thanks, Paula. I'm here at the Ben Avery shooting facility, and as you can tell from this map, it's a pretty big place. So we've invited Don Turner from the Arizona Game and Fish Department.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Don. He's going to show us around a little bit. But Don, before we start, can you tell us a little bit about the background of the facility?
This facility and the ranges were built in the early and late 1960s to host the 40th World Shooting Championships. So it's an Olympic-style facility. It's the largest public-operated facility of its kind in the world. And it's actually a recreational shooting complex because we have air gun, small bore rifle, rifle, pistol, all sorts of archery events, and clay target and shotgun shooting events. So basically anything you want to shoot, we can do out here at Ben Avery.
So a lot to do out here.
Very much. And
is this open to all people of Phoenix?
This is open to the citizens of the state. Actually, we have international shooters from all over the world that come here to shoot. It's again, one of the biggest ranges, so we did 106,000 shooter days last year on this facility.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot to see, so...
Well, I'd like to take you guys on a tour and show you some of the different ranges.
Well, let's get going.
Thank you. This is the new Department of Public Safety Training and Qualification Range. It was built by the Department of Public Safety primarily for the training of their officers. When they're not using it, we do allow the public to shoot here. And it's primarily concealed weapons classes, basic rifle and pistol. Today the DPS is shooting with a group of instructors to keep up their training and learn new techniques. The targets they're shooting are a state-approved target in human silhouette form, and that's really appropriate for police and military training. On the facility, most of the targets we shoot are bullseye targets rather than the human-shaped targets. But this is a very modern range. It's a brand new range. It's a good addition to our facility, and we're happy to have the Department of Public Safety out here with us.
And today, this is part of their qualifications.
That's correct. We also have 18 other police agencies that shoot out here, not on this range, but this is their in-service training for some of their local instructors.
Well, they look kind of busy. Should we move on?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. So you were telling me this is the pistol shooting range we're coming up to, is that right?
That's correct. This is the pistol silhouette range. We have a lot of ranges out here that were designed for a specific type of competition. And this particular range was designed for short and long range pistol silhouette. They have the little metal animals, and when you shoot them with a pistol, they fall down, and they shoot unsupported, and the person that knocks over the most animals, of course, wins. But they go out to 100 yards and closer, and the hunter silhouette goes out to 200 yards, and that's unsupported with a pistol. So it takes a lot of skill. And this is one of our popular ranges, and we shoot on this probably every Sunday. They're having one type of match or another. A lot of Ben Avery was built to host international and national competitions, and these ranges meet all the national and international standards. We book a year in advance for a lot of these competitive events because there's few places in the country that let this type of shooting occur.
A year in advance?
A year in advance.
Why do you think this is so popular out here?
Well, we have the facility. We're close to international transportation. We have a long-term reputation. We provide friendly customer service, and we have dedicated customer groups that put time and effort and money out of their own pocket into making the ranges better in kind of a harmony thing with the state of Arizona.
And it looks like that's part of what's going on back here?
We have a group of volunteers out here working today, and they're helping rebuild the pistol silhouette range. They're putting in hydraulically operated targets. So they're all new targets. They're a whole new system for setting up the targets. These guys have done a fundraiser. They're paying for this all out of their own club money, and the state cooperates with them and allows them to do this, and it builds up the range for everybody.
You guys are spending a lot of time out here doing this. Why do y'all come out here to the Ben Avery shooting range?
This is one of the premier ranges in the country, not just Arizona. It was originally built for Western national matches, but they decided that didn't work out so well, so we've got a beautiful match here, beautiful range here, you know, and super safe, and you can get instruction here. Some of the people will show you what to do, how to do it, if it's necessary, you know. and it's just wonderful recreation. You know.
Well, what would people do if there wasn't a Benny shooting range? How would
Well,
they
they'd be out
practice?
all around the country shooting up the countryside, you know, and some would be safe and some wouldn't be safe, you know, and we'd have bullets flying all over the place rather than going into a nice backstop.
So in a lot of ways, this is keeping people from getting into accidents or getting hurt.
Correct.
This is true, and a lot of people doing it unknowingly. They would go out and not have good backstops, and there would be people around, you know. And then you're going to get into an enforcement problem. They're going to be calling the county or whoever to come out and take care of this activity, and that's unnecessary. When you have a facility like this, you've got plenty of area for them to do all their shooting they want to do, and the cost is minimal. It's just excellent, and a nice facility. We got a lot of volunteers that help us do this work.
All right, we'll have at it. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate your
Thank you for stopping
input
by.
here.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.
See ya. Come out and shoot with us sometime.
So as we're walking over to the Broadhead range here, tell me a little bit about the other archery courses that you have here.
Well, our archery facility has a 5-star rating by the National Field Archery Association. We have 3 walking hill courses and 3 field courses like this Broadhead course we're on. We also just built a brand new international archery range that'll have several national and international competitions. We're working on that now. We're putting in a new Broadhead range, and the archery facility also has a known distance range for people to sight in their bows and practice their general archery. So it's quite a large facility.
Well, now when I think of archery, I think of those big bales of hay with the big targets on them. This isn't
Correct.
actually a target I would think of.
That's correct. This is a broadhead range and a broadhead course. And the reason is the broadheads are the hunting tips on the arrows, and they're very sharp and they tear up the excelsior bales. So when you shoot broadhead, we have a dirt pit or a sand pit that the arrows go into. Keeps from damaging the heads, but it allows the archers a chance to practice with more field conditions for the type of arrows they're shooting.
So when they shoot, it basically goes directly
It just goes
for
through
carpet.
here and it makes a hole in the target, and then it beds itself in the dirt so they can retrieve them without damage. We have 2 broadhead ranges out here, and they're very popular. And we have 6 different archery clubs that shoot here, and they're having events and competitions all the time.
Do people who shoot guns, do they ever try the archery at all? Or?
Quite a few archers are also rifle and pistol shooters. They hunt or they just practice. And I know the gentleman that shoots the international archery is quite a good trap and skeet shooter. So we have a lot of crossovers. One thing nice about archery, it's a little more quiet. You don't have to worry
Not
about
as much noise,
long. And you get a chance to walk around in the field because obviously the safety conditions are different. All the butts are set so there's nobody or nothing behind them when you walk through the courses. So if they overshoot, it's still very safe. And you come to the main range and pay your money, and then you can come down to the archery course and walk through all these courses without supervision because they're that safe and that regulated.
That's for the same day fee?
For the same day fee.
So you can decide whether you want to do archery or one of the rifle
Or
and pistol
both.
ranges. Or both.
Yes, you could
Oh,
come
okay.
and shoot rifle and pistol and then come down here and do some archery.
So you could be here all day if you
You could
wanted
be here all day.
Okay, well,
Some people live out here.
now, Don, this is part of the range that looks kind of interesting to me.
We're out in the middle of the clay target field. This is where all the clay birds land that the shooters either hit or sometimes they miss them.
Oh, this is
These
what
are-
they look like.
Yeah, they're made out of a clay and plastic combination. They're thrown on a machine, and there's about 6 different shotgun sports out here where they shoot at these things. This is a very popular part of the facility. We have one of the nicest sporting clay courses in the entire valley, if not the state. And the Clay Target Center is run by a concessionaire with the department, LB Chief, and them and the department work together to provide the shotgun aspect of the Ben Avery shooting facility.
And for those of us who don't know anything about clay shooting, what is this supposed to simulate?
Well, this is supposed, well, first it's just a moving target, but it was originally designed to simulate birds in flight as a preparation for hunting training or something to do during the non-hunt seasons. Years ago, there were little glass balls filled with carbon, and they've evolved to this type of disc. And these actually have a little aeronautical stability when they fly, kind of like a fragile Frisbee. And when you hit them with a shot, they break, see, and then you can tell that as a hit.
And there's a shooter that's actually going to show us how it works.
Yeah, David McGaffey, who operates this place under contract with the department, has volunteered to shoot some birds for us today.
Well, let's go take a look.
Sounds good.
Pull it.
You haven't missed yet. Do you ever miss?
I try not to.
How many people come out here and do their clay and skeet shooting out here?
During the week, we'll see 40 to 50 shooters a day come out and participate. On the weekends, we'll see up in the 75 to 100 shooters come out throughout the day.
Oh, so it's pretty popular, actually.
Yeah, it's really growing. It's sporting clays, which is a course we have out back. It's similar to a golf course. You go to a tee box, but you never go to a green. You'll go to a cage, and you'll stand in the shooting box, and it'll be very similar to these targets here, but it takes on a golf course atmosphere. They take golf courses around the course.
Oh, okay. Now, what about it for someone who has never tried this before? Is this tough to pick up? Is this sport tough?
It's really not. It's very similar to playing golf or any other sport. You have to get over that initial fear of coming out and embarrassing yourself, which you're not doing because everybody did it at one time. Everybody had to start. Come out. You can rent a gun from this facility. We provide absolutely everything. We have freelance instructors, and we try and provide our staff with a little bit of help to show you how to do it. We don't recommend you to pick this toughest game to start with. Come out, shoot a little trap, and then work your way around from there.
And then you can start playing these tougher games.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you get more proficient, you can play the tougher games and go around.
Well, we'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Pull it.
Well, Don, you've showed us a lot so far. What's this now that we're finally looking at?
This is our main public range. Probably over 50% of the shooting occurs here at the main public range. And this is where our daily visitors come. We're open from 7 a.m. until dark, Wednesday through Sunday. And the general public comes here to the main range. The people who want to sight in their rifles or just shoot rifles and pistols without being part of an organized or competitive event. So this is where this occurs. If you're a new shooter and you come here, we have an 11-minute safety video that explains our procedures and talks about safe gun handling and transportation of firearms. You watch the safety video, then you come here and check in with our range masters, and you get issued a table, and you buy your targets and earphones.
And how many people sit at these tables?
Well, you can have 2 maximum. Usually it's 1 shooter per table. It gives them plenty of room to lay out their gear and stuff. But this has all been remodeled and redeveloped, and these concrete tables are a real plus. We also modified the range to allow for 200-yard shooting, and that was a customer request. That was an expensive project. We raised all the berms. We put a new target holder system in the ground, and we provide new target frames every week for everybody to shoot on. So the quality of the shooting here is pretty good, and we're very safe. We have a very good safety record, and safety is our #1 priority.
I noticed a lot of signs around here.
We have a lot of reminders to be safe, and our saying around here is safety, attitude is everything. And that's what we believe about firearms. The ownership of guns is a great personal responsibility. There's no reason for accidents. There's no reason for poor gun handling. People interested in firearms need to come out, learn how to shoot, take a safety class, come to the range, enjoy themselves.
Is there a number that people can call if they're interested in finding out more how to make time to come out here?
Sure. Our main range number and our information number is area code 623-582-8313. And if you're a Hispanic background and you have difficulties with English, we provide the safety rules in Spanish. So you just ask for them at the main range, and we have them as a handout also.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to give us the tour.
It was my pleasure to take you around. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're on the issues. I'm Marcos Nájera. Paula, back to you.
Thanks, Marcos. On the Issues Now welcomes Councilmember Dave Siebert and Don Turner from the Avery facility. Welcome. That was just an incredible journey that we just took.
Well, it's an incredible range. It really is. It's one of the jewels of District 1 in the city of Phoenix.
One of the important things that we were talking about, Councilmember, is that it's important for people to realize it's a responsibility. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, with gun ownership clearly comes responsibility. It is a right, but that balance of responsibility goes with it. And we're very lucky to have a facility like this where people can practice, can learn safety and safety programs that go on with it, special events that they have for there. And the fact that, if Don wants to talk about a little bit, that its origins start from its Olympic class facility.
Absolutely. You want to share that little history that you were telling us about?
Sure. Back in the early 1960s, the outdoor writer Ben Avery with the Arizona Republic and a bunch of friends decided that the Valley of the Sun would be an appropriate place to have a year-round training facility. And at that time, the country was vying for the Olympics, and they were having problems with Camp Perry in Ohio facing future closure. So they petitioned the city and the county, and they got a coalition together, and they approached the Arizona Game and Fish Commission, who had the authority to purchase land. And they convinced the Game and Fish Commission to purchase 2 full sections, which is 1,280 acres of land for a national shooting facility. Then they interacted with the International Shooting Olympics program, and they built a modern class, at that time a modern class range for the 40th World Shooting Championships, which were held in 1970. And that made national and international news, and we had shooters from the Olympic community all the way from Russia, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China. And that formed the base for the current facility that's there now. It's maintained its status as a world-renowned facility. The name changed, but if you can go to any place in the world right now and ask about the Black Canyon Range, and people know what the Black Canyon Range is in the shooting community. And in honor of Ben Avery, around 1985-86, the county, Maricopa County, who was operating the range at that time for the Game and Fish Commission, renamed it in honor of Ben Avery. So that's why it's a Ben Avery shooting facility at this time.
Okay, now Don, who can come to the facility? Is it open to housewives, to lawyers, to doctors? I mean, do you have to have prior training in order to come to learn, or what are the guidelines?
Well, that's an interesting question, because the facility is maintained for the citizens of the state of Arizona. And so to shoot at Ben Avery, all you have to do is be a lawful citizen. In other words, not be a convicted felon who's had their firearms rights taken away from them. So you come out to Ben Avery, we charge a nominal fee of $4. We have a main public range that's supervised by game and fish officers and by volunteers. And we have a bunch of volunteer people. We train them as safety officers, and they donate approximately 16,000 hours of free safety labor to us a year to run this facility at the low cost. So you come out for $4 a day, you buy your targets there or bring your own. If you're a new shooter, we have an 11-minute safety video to watch to make sure that you understand the protocols and the safety issues. And then you just shoot until you're tired or run out of ammunition.
Okay. Now, how important is it to see that safety video before you actually take the classes?
Well, we won't allow people to shoot on the main public range unless they see the safety video. The other parts of the range are competitive ranges, and at that point they belong to a club. They're mainly competitors. They go straight to the competitor clubs have their own safety officers, but they shoot standard competitive type shooting. We do have programs for new shooters that are more lengthy. For instance, we have 22 different organizations that teach firearms training at Ben Avery. The state does not compete with the commercial market for teaching. So if you want to, for instance, come out and take a concealed weapons permit, which is authorized by the state, then you would call us and we would put you in touch with one of these 20 groups that would teach you your concealed weapons training. Or if you wanted a basic class in firearms, we do have on Thursday nights a women's league. And it's all female instructors. It's a low intensity type event. They come out, we have a 2-hour safety lecture, and then along with that is the techniques of how to handle a gun and aim it and the proper trigger squeeze and stuff. And they get together and they have some fun. A week ago they had a, believe it or not, a shooting fashion show. Oh, and they had people from one of the major outdoor manufacturers come in and show off their new outdoor equipment. So they have a good time with that. But on Thursday night also, we have a junior league. And these are for children young enough to be responsible, and it goes to 20 years of age. And right now we have 85 juniors signed up for the junior program. We lit up the range. They have safety instructors, so they learn the most important thing is safety and responsibility. And then after they learn that, then they can go out and actually handle the rifles. And we have 22 rifles that the state provides for them to borrow until their parents or until they decide to buy a gun to continue on their shooting. And it's interesting, so many of these people come through and then they'll branch out and go to the different competitive type of shooting events, like metallic silhouette or pistol silhouette or something like that. So it's kind of a basic feeder program. It's fun, they enjoy it, there's no accidents because it's so closely supervised, and it's really a nice place to learn how to shoot, but more important, it's a nice place to learn how to be responsible with firearms.
Okay. Now, Councilmember, we talked a little bit about the importance of maintaining this facility because it is one of the very few in the United States even.
It's, I believe, the best, one of the best in the country, if not the world. It's a fabulous range. It's over 2.5 square miles, and it's a jewel that if we lose it, it's gone forever. And so it's important. The City of Phoenix has been a great supporter of this range. I know I made a promise to Ben Avery before he passed away that we would do our best to support it. In fact, recently the county planners had a proposal to run an access road along the freeway and actually bisect part of the range and cut off about 50 acres. We made it very clear that since it's in the City of Phoenix, we will use every legal means possible to protect this range. And I do want to take this opportunity to thank Jan Brewer for helping resolve the issue and keep the range from being encroached upon.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to put a pause right here, Councilmember, and we'll be back with more after this short break. Keep watching On the Issues.
There are lots of ways to measure your tap water's quality. One good way is safety, and your city's tap water passes that test day after day. Here's why. Your city's tap water must meet or exceed the health and safety standards set by the state and federal government. To meet those standards, your city tests for more than 100 substances. That means tens of thousands of tests a year to ensure your safety. So if you want to make sure you're using safe water, tap into quality, your city's tap water.
Welcome back to On the Issues. Councilmember Dave Siebert is back along with Chief Range Master Don Turner from Ben Avery Shooting Facility. And this has certainly been an exciting show to find out about all of the different aspects of handling a gun and the importance of the responsibility that comes with it.
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody, every law-abiding citizen that certainly has the right to own and to use firearms respects that right. Unfortunately, the criminal element gives everybody a bad name. But one of those things in responsibility is learning safety properly, and it's nice to learn at a young age. If the children have a responsible adult that will help teach them the proper firearms handling, then the odds of them getting hurt years later, my opinion personally is ignorance is dangerous. And the best thing that we can ever do is provide good programs on safety training. And I think that's something that we're seriously lacking in, and I would certainly like to see it expanded. And of course, Ben Avery Range is a great place for kids to learn how to shoot, and to learn how to shoot and respect firearms.
Absolutely. Now, Don, how young can a child learn to handle a gun?
Well, the basic bottom line, or the bottom age, is we don't have an age limit because it depends on the maturity of the child. We have some children out there at 6 years old that are mature enough to understand the safety aspects, and we have some that are a little older that aren't quite mature enough for that. So the bottom age is, do they understand what they're involved in? Do they understand what safety is? Do they understand what responsibility is? And then from that point on, we can work with them. But we teach children primarily the safety. The mechanics of shooting come later, after they learn the responsibility of shooting and the fact that shooting is a recreation sport and it doesn't need to hurt anybody.
Okay. Now, what are some of the elements that you would teach to a younger person learning to handle a gun?
Well, there's basic rules of gun safety, and it depends on their age for their understanding. Real young children, you tell them if you see a firearm, don't touch it. Leave it alone. Go tell an adult. When they're older and they're responsible for handling, you tell them always point the muzzle, which is the end of the gun, where no matter where it points, if something happens, it'll never hurt anybody. Then the second thing is always make sure your firearm is empty, because a lot of accidents occur when people just think they're empty and they don't check. And then the third thing is you never point your gun at anything you don't want to shoot or anything behind what you want to shoot. And if people just remember those three safety principles, there will be no accidents with firearms.
Okay, are you finding that more parents are taking their children out to your range?
Yes, we've had a large increase. Since we took over the range in 1995, we've had a 113% increase in our shooters, from 47,000 shooter days to over 106,000 shooter days. We've had a 71% increase in the number of junior shooting and a 76% increase in the number of women coming out to shoot. It's an overall growth of 30% a year, and according to national figures, we're the largest and fastest growing shooting range in the country.
That's great. That's incredible, too, the numbers. Why do you think so many people are starting to come?
Well, several things. One, we've changed the management. It's run now by the state of Arizona through the Game and Fish Department, but we've gone through and we've made the range a family place. One of our visions is that it's safe, it's enjoyable, and it's family oriented. So we've cleaned it up. We've put over $1 million worth of improvements. When you come there, we have lunch vendors that offer clean food. It's a safe place, so if you bring your children, you don't worry about their safety, and people feel comfortable there. Our customer surveys show that they prefer to shoot there than anywhere else because they feel safe and they feel like it's a home environment. And that's really critical, particularly nowadays with recreation where parents want to spend their quality time with their children. This is a quality place to go.
Okay. It seems as though, council member, that a lot of people are also, this is more than a recreational type activity. This is a safety thing.
Yes, it's safety oriented. The management, and I have to give special credit to Don Turner and his staff, they do a fabulous job. Several years ago it was run by the county, and they didn't have the money to put into it, and it was really run down. And about 4 or 5 years ago, even Phoenix was looking at managing it and running it at the time that we had annexed the property. And I can tell you that I couldn't be more happy with the results that I see that the Arizona Game and Fish Department has done. The money they've put into it, it's safer than it was before, it's cleaner than it was before, it's very well managed, and it really is a nice facility.
Okay, when you talk about the management of it, you mentioned volunteers are very important. Where do the volunteers come from?
Well, we have two basic groups of volunteers. We have our people that come out and volunteer to be line safety officers. They help us run the main range. Most of them are retired people, and we give them a 6-hour training course, and they come out and they just want to contribute. We also allow them to shoot for free afterwards, of course. And then we have a group of hosts, and these are people from as far away as Canada, and we have a site for them to live in. They're like snowbirds, and we let them live there for free in exchange for 20 hours of labor a week. We have 20 of those that live there during the winter. When it's 120, people don't love us as much, but we do have 2 permanent ones. But we assign them a lot of the groundskeeping work, and they take very much pride in their work and what they do. So the place a lot of times just looks manicured now that we've started getting these people to help us. Our thing is, it's a range for the community. It's a range for the public. The more the public invests into it, the more they take ownership in it. The more they take ownership in it, the better it is.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And again, if people are interested, they can come out anytime?
Just come on out from 7 a.m. until sunset in the winter, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Wednesday through Friday. Come to the main range, check in, and just enjoy yourself.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
I'd like to give you an opportunity and an invitation to come out to our Ladies League on Thursday night, starting at 6:30. We'll take care of you.
I've never shot a gun before, but I certainly would like to learn. So thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
And thank you, council member. Any closing comments?
Just to say that everybody be responsible with the firearms. If you don't understand them, have somebody professional help you with the safety tips, and enjoy the Ben Avery range.
Okay, thanks so much, and thank you. And thanks so much for watching.